Greetings. This is Diego Knight and Dee Marie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Diego. How are you?
I'm good. So today, Baja Tales and Travel, and we're live for
It's
the
time
first.
for us,
Yep,
right?
we're live. Well,
Yeah.
we're alive, of course, but the thing is this: we are live now. This is the first time we're trying to do something like this. So the key thing is we want to say that hey, we made a great accomplishment for how many episodes have we had so far?
Well, 10 officially.
10 officially. That's with Baja Tales and Travels. And we have two more episodes, which do to 12.
Yeah, when we were first starting out. Yeah. And I mean, it's pretty crazy to think that here it is, middle of March. We officially started this podcast, the Baja Tales and Travels, in January. But even there, we changed the name once. So, but now we are officially Baja Tales and Travels. And we've got 10 episodes plus two.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, with this episode live, we're going to do a recap of what we've done.
Yeah.
So we have a video clip of each person we did. And the first clip was with us. We went to the Mexicana Riviera cruise.
Oh God, you're gonna make me think about that cruise again.
So here we go, and we could see what we did. Just a little clip, and here we go.
Stop.
It was at Puerto Vallarta. Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful day. Look at that picture. That's
Yeah.
Malachi.
We went to the Malecon, and we went there 2 years ago. So anyway, one of the key things at the Malecon, the boardwalk is statues.
Yeah, it was cool. Plus, the big plus this year is because we went November, right after Day of the Dead, so they still had the statues up for that. We got to see the big. This isn't the big. Oh, there's
No, this is the
no.
first one. That was at one of the local restaurants.
Yeah, yeah, but
But here we are. They had
tree.
this was I think from a local school or university, I think. But this was done for Day of the Dead.
Yeah. I mean, it was really cool walking along the Malachi and you kept seeing all these really cool statues and things like that. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do when we go to Puerto Vallarta is just walk along there and there's shops and restaurants. Oh, there's a great view. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, those were temporary displays because they were going they were in the process of removing a couple of those,
Yeah.
but that was really cool.
Yeah, it was good timing. It was good timing to see all this stuff. They were getting ready, already to start bringing out the Christmas stuff. But
Yeah, this is one of the things you only see that time of the year. The statues are permanent. These are only displays, artwork only at that time. Here's your favorite hummingbird.
yeah, I know. Everything's so colorful there. That's what I love about it.
Here's the owl. So that was our first episode, the Mexicana cruise. And what do you think about that event?
Well, I guess that's where we get the travels as part of the Baja Tales and
Yep.
Travels. Hey, you can't stop me from talking enough about going on a cruise, especially the Mexican Riviera. So, yeah, that was fun. That was a fun episode. Um, come a long way since that episode because now our focus is on real people, real stories, real Baja.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is this, since we had a travels for the first episode, we had our first interview. Yeah, actually you did. So can you
Yeah.
tell? So let's go and listen to what she talked about for 2 minutes.
Okay, Britta.
There we go.
The day of the earthquake,
Oh
the big
wow,
one.
I remember that.
Yes. So
Wow.
I moved to Pismo Beach on the Central Coast,
Yeah, I know where
which
that is.
I really liked. I was on vacation there before and I really liked it. So I went there, stayed in Pismo for 10 years, lived there. And after that, I moved to Spain, to Marbella. And reason my mom lived down there
Mm.
and she was really really sick and she said, Britta, can you come over here, can you help me? And I said, okay. I thought I would come back, right? So I put stuff in the storage
Uh-huh.
and um, took my animals with me to
Of course.
Spain, of course, as my family. And yeah, and then basically took all longer and longer and I ended up staying in Spain for 10 years and I was a restaurant and bar owner in Spain.
Wow.
Got sick. I had 2 different cancers.
Oh, wow. So
And so in 2004, I went back to Germany and stayed in Germany for 5 years. And yeah, and then I moved to Mexico.
wow. So Spain. Okay. So did you know Spanish when you moved to Spain or not?
No,
Oh, so because I understand you speak several
now I
languages.
do. Now
Wow.
I
Wow.
speak Spanish. Yeah,
Wow. So how does Rosarito compare with Spain? I mean, different
yeah,
vibe or
yeah. Well, I have to say the Mexicans are very different than Spanish people. Um,
in what way?
in well, I have to say, like, if you are in Andalusia, which is southern part.
So, yeah, that was Britta Tiarks. And, well, who was
Very
you?
interesting lady. You know, I found her on Facebook, and she's got a very interesting story. First of all, she's German, so there we go.
Yep.
You know, we got a German person living here in Rosarito, but she's got a very interesting story. One of the things that really fascinated me was her making her own dog food for her pets. And in fact, since we had her as a guest, I've actually had a sample for our dog of her pet food. And I think that's like a little business that she does on the side. But very interesting lady. Everybody's got a really cool little story down here. So, yeah, that was an interesting episode.
Yeah, that's true. So, made a mistake. Yeah, I need how to use this program system a little better. So anyway,
Oh,
well,
that'll
this is
be our
what's going to happen anyway. So anyway, the key thing is, yeah, Britta was a great person. Also, she joined our Baja Buddies,
Yeah.
and she attended. So that's something else. So that's the first person you interviewed, and then we had for our next episode we had BluExit. BluExit is a group coming from Rosarito. The first person is Eloy. I've known Eloy for 10 years, and I wanted him to have an opportunity to promote his music. So here's that clip. Time.
It's good to see you.
So tell me, Eloy and Curtis. Eloy, what do you guys do?
Well, we're local musicians. We've been playing together for about 6 years now, and it's what we do, music.
I met you, Eloy, about 8 or 9 years ago in Rosarito,
Yeah.
and over the over the years, and we had different places. You had different places in venue. You with alone, but you were jamming with other groups and other positions. How did you get involved with music?
Um, I got involved with music because I have 3 brothers, and they're 2 years apart. And then 18 years later, I was born. So they're musicians, and music's been in my house like.
So that's Eloy,
Yeah,
and
they were interesting. I mean, uh, the variety of music that they play, and they perform here in Rosarito at one
yep,
of the restaurants, and also out in the Valle every once in a while. But great musicians, great variety of music.
and that's a key thing is a lot of live music here in Rosarito, different types. People come from Eloy's from Rosarito, but also other bands coming from Tijuana and Ensenada. So it's you have a different variety, and there's a lot of venues, a lot of restaurants and bars have live music, which is really interesting. I learned about that 10 years ago, 11 years ago when I came over here.
Yeah, and they talked about you know how they if the crowd gets them going, they just keep on playing. So you know they take requests and stuff like that. It's great entertainment. So yeah, that was interesting. And musicians. So who was our next guest after that?
The Cat Whisperer.
Oh, ooh, yeah, Courtney.
So let's listen. Here's a little clip of what we did.
I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and I moved over to California about 10 years ago. And I came south to Rosarito about 6.5 years ago. That's how I ended up in Rosarito.
Oh, that's about the same. I've been here 7, so
Oh,
we're
really?
here about the same
Cool.
amount of time. Yeah, yeah. So what brought you to Rosarito?
I was actually surfing coming down because the waves are less crowded down here, so I would come down and surf, and then I met my now husband surfing, and then I kept coming down, and then we moved in together, and we love having the, a slow pace of life, and um, Baja will forever be our home. And that's
So, yeah, that's Courtney and the Whisper Cat.
Yeah, that's a pretty fun idea. Talk about, something different. They have Viva Los Gatos, where you can go visit with the cats and be on their catio, which I thought was cute, a little patio for the cats. And I think we missed it, but I think Valentine's Day she said they were going to do a little thing with a kiss with the cats or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
So that was a very entertaining interview. And again, another interesting person down here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. And she's been doing how long has she been doing? It's a not-for-profit organization.
yeah. And they rescue cats. And if you're interested in adopting one, you can go visit, or if you just want to go play with the cats. So, and I'm not a cat person normally, but she had me convinced that day. It was a fun interview. So yeah. So what about our next guest?
One of our good friends, brand new good friends, Briza from the Bomberos. This
Yeah.
is a lady, we met her actually over a year ago when we were working for a not-for-profit organization, and she is the director of a Mexican not-for-profit organization,
Right.
and it's for the Bomberos de Rosarito. It's firefighters of Rosarito. That organization is to help uh, dealing with the organization for of the firefighters.
Yeah, they act sort of like the middleman between what the fire stations and firefighters need
Yeah.
and what people can do to support that need. So, yeah, that near and dear to our hearts, I know now. So, I mean, who doesn't want to help the firefighters here? So,
Let's go to that clip.
okay.
Hi, my name is Briza. I'm from Rosarito. I'm the general director of Bomberos Rosarito. Uh, my background, well, I have a son, is a firefighter right here in Rosarito.
Now that's a great connection. I can see
Yes.
while you're.
And then I have another members of my family that they have been firefighters right here in Rosarito.
Oh,
So I know the background right here with the firefighter family.
you know the challenges.
Yeah,
then
the
obviously.
challenges and the needs and all that. 5 years ago, um, some entrepreneurs and brands from here, Rosarito, they invite me to have the charge of the direction of Pro Bomberos.
Oh,
First,
So that's Briza, and her office is Corona Hotel. So if anyone wants to help, you're more than welcome to contact her. But the other thing is we've been working for the Baja Buddies.
Right, right. And again, it's a great cause. We have 4 fire stations here in Rosarito, and that covers quite a big distance. So, they always need water. They always need, granola bars, things like that. But, I love the way she coordinates everything with them, and it's a great cause. So that was a very different kind of interview.
Yeah, and the important thing is one of the reasons why she created that organization was because of the firefighters. Excuse me, the wildfires in
Yeah.
2019 with Los Moreros
Yeah.
and also La Misión area. So this organization is to help to allocate with the donations for that stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and luckily Baja Buddy is another organization, and the thing is, we'll be working with her to help the firefighters because everyone needs help. Everyone can help with the firefighters.
Right, and they certainly, can use a lot of help here. So,
Right, that's correct. And we'll be working. Pay attention to Baja Buddies, and we'll be letting you what we'll be working with them for any other events for that stuff. So, all right, for the next guest was a writer, Mark.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
An
So,
author.
yeah.
Talk about a variety here. We've had musicians, authors, firefighters, fire support, stuff like that. Yeah, no, Mark, he's another one that I happen to notice. and I reached out to him, and he's an author, and he wrote a book on his memoirs of moving to Mexico and the adventures. And it's not for the faint-hearted when you read the book, but a very entertaining read, a very easy read, and it was a great guest appearance. So can we see that clip?
Yep, here we go.
Of my story, it probably would start like 2009 when I met Sophie in LA.
Your beautiful wife.
Yeah, my beautiful wife Sophie, who I liked. One of the people, one of the reviewers of the book said, "You're probably gonna get a crush on Sophie reading this book," you know. But so in 2009 we met, and I was doing pretty well as a senior editor at a magazine out of New York. I was the California editor, and they filed for bankruptcy, and my job was over. I was done.
Oh, wow.
So 3 months after meeting Sophie, all of a sudden I was on unemployment in LA.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
nice way to start off a relationship, right?
Yeah, in fact, I actually had a moment where we were driving.
So, yeah, that was Mark. Really interesting guy.
Yeah, got my book signed.
Yep,
'Cause
signed.
I got that book before we even had him. His book is on Amazon. Like I said, it's an easy read, and I got my book signed by him. So
Yep.
that was really interesting to hear some of his little stories about
Yeah,
Mexico.
there you got different characters of people who live here in Rosarito,
Yeah.
and it's very interesting to hear that different perspective. And if you listen to the video, the podcast is interesting about his adventures here in
Yeah,
Mexico.
Yeah.
So for our next episode, that will be number 7. Yeah, I'm writing down all the numbers, making sure we're in line. We did a different perspective, different point of view. And do you like Italian food?
Oh, Manny.
Manny,
Oh,
yeah.
gosh, now you're making me hungry. First you had me going with the cruise, now you're getting me hungry. Oh, yeah, Manny. Again, this was a great timing. It was right before Valentine's Day, and we had him come in. Now, Manny's originally from Naples. Now, here we go again, another foreign person. See, that's what I like about our real people, real stories, real Baja.
Baja.
You know, it was interesting to hear how he came here, opened up his restaurant, and his love of Italian food. So let's see what he said. A little bit of his clip.
Okay, born and raised in Naples, south of Italy. The city which invented the pizza is one of the most sell food in the world. And I've been lucky to grow up in a family which my grandmother was a head chef for a rich family. And basically I always eat good, always been, playing in the kitchen since I was young, studying the kitchen was when I was going to school. And, I really like my job and my culture. I decided, one day, which was in 1999, to move and express myself somewhere else. I did that when I moved to London in England, which I've been 6 years.
Wow.
Working in Italian restaurants, and I get my first experience to work outside my country. And
Yeah, that's Manny, Manny's Place, and that is just south of Rosarito Beach Hotel, just north of Castillo del Mar.
Yeah. And that, like I said, that was right before Valentine's Day. And Baja Buddies, we keep mentioning Baja Buddies, and that's a separate social group. But we had a special private event there at his restaurant for Valentine's Day, and he closed down his restaurant and made some delicious, homemade meals for us. And he'd come and explain them, and it was just a great experience. You can't miss. His pizza's wonderful. Oh my God! And you go in his restaurant, and all the walls have the description of the different pizzas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's more than just pizza. It's great Italian food. So,
Yeah, it was really, really good.
That's our first chef that we've ever had on.
Yeah, and the thing is, he likes to cater to the guests, and he likes to talk to them and explain to them.
Yeah, because you could tell he loves his food, so he wants to explain and make you really enjoy it. It's sort of like, I picture the old mama Italian family kind of thing where they just have their love of food. So yeah, now you're making me hungry. Okay, next guest. What was the next one?
Okay, this one, well, we have another musician. This
Oh,
would be from Angel Sax and his friend Abraham Duarte. I met Angel Sax about 10 years ago with Olasoy Lola. He's a saxophone player, but he's getting involved with other music projects. And he's a really nice guy. I met him, as I said, 10 years ago, and he's got a couple other projects, but the main one right now is called House Live. So let me go and find that episode, and here we can listen more about that. Angel Sax.
Year ago, and the project consists of a DJ, singer, sax, and guitar player. And the concept is playing the house music, uh, but live, doing it as we on real time. Um, the ideas come from different sources. Abraham has a lot to do with it, um, as far as the put it in the his ideas into the project too. Diles poquito.
Del proyecto.
Mhm.
Sí. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Abraham.
Sí. ¿En qué haces aquí?
Ok. Mi parte es trabajo como coproductor. Juntos creamos.
So that was Angel Sax with Abraham Duarte working for a new project called House Live. It's more like DJ style.
yeah, and
Any
it's sort of
pro-
a collaboration with some other musicians
Yeah,
down here, which
Abraham's
is
one of
interesting.
them. Tina Marie,
Right, right.
and I don't know the other lady, but I put all the information onto the on the article about that.
And again, what I found fascinating about this is saxophone music, something that you don't think of when you think of Mexico. I think people think of Mexico, they're thinking mariachi or cumbia or something like that. And, here we have a saxophone musician down here. That was a very interesting episode with them.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Rosarito is there's a lot of different live music. You
Yeah.
have blues, rock, classical, different stuff, and there's a variety over here.
Yeah.
It's a great. I mean, the thing is, you need to explore the restaurants, but also live music. I know you got people coming from Tijuana. I know some of the musicians coming and the bands coming from Tijuana, and they come over here, and I know they come from Ensenada over
Yeah.
here. So the music scene, the live music scene, is really, really big over here. Great thing. So for our next episode, we met Ricardo Martinez.
Oh, yeah, our good friend Ricardo. Yeah, he's involved with Casa Hogar Horizonte, which is an orphanage for some children here in Rosarito that unfortunately their family situation isn't that good, and they ended up, I think they have got like 15 kids there.
Yep.
So let's listen to that episode. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay.
Where you're
I
from.
was born in Torrance, California. Also grew up in Torrance. Grew up in the South Bay. Eventually left for college. Decided to come back to LA. And then I was in LA, basically that area for the first 40, 50 years of my life. And I did a lot of community work. At the moment, I work as an accountant for a law firm part-time. But I did a lot of community work, a lot of activism. And then this opportunity arose to move to Palm Springs. A friend was
Wow.
opening up a business.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you and I were actually neighbors.
Yes.
I spent 30 some years in Hermosa Beach,
Right.
and I used to work in Torrance, so that's a small world.
Yes,
Wow.
we used to hang out in Redondo Beach a lot.
Yeah,
So-
wow.
So Ricardo Martinez, and didn't he make a big announcement for the solar?
Oh yeah, so that was part of what he talked about was one of the things is that they want to. He was the one that started a GoFundMe to raise some money so that they could install solar at the orphanage, and that way their electric bill would be cut down, and they'd be able to use that money better for supporting those kids, and they reached their goal, which is fantastic news. But, one of the things that impressed me about Ricardo, he has such a love for these kids. And we visited the orphanage one day, and you could just see all the kids every time they would run into him, they're hugging him and, Ricardo. So, and the other thing that was impressive, what he talked about, remember he talked about, I think it's the oldest child that's there. She's 15 and she had a quinceanera.
Yeah.
And they went through everybody participated, all the other kids that are at the orphanage and some other people. So they try to really make these kids feel special.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that episode and hearing about that.
So for our next episode, which was our last episode, was Bob Yourell.
Oh, now this is a good one. Bob is a psychotherapist here in Rosarito, formerly from the LA area, and he's licensed to work both in the States and here. So let's take a look at that clip.
So then I reactivated my license and started seeing people, and I'm set up for telehealth or to go to people's homes and do house calls.
Oh, wow. So what are the kind of issues that you've seen here with people with, expats trying to adjust to life here?
Yeah, it's I see what is a lot of literature and what they talk about, and also like corporate transplants. There's this whole kind of science of when you move your executive to Mexico City or someplace and their spouse comes along, are they both flexible enough to do well in the environment? And then, and so there's the corporate, and then there's just general research about who does well. And especially they want to emphasize the aging population because so many people move when they're retired to Mexico or wherever.
Right, because I think a lot of, especially from California, a lot of people are coming down here because of the finances, and they think, well, it's going to be an easy thing because it's like the suburb of San Diego, it's not
region,
that far.
yeah.
So the people have different kind of issues then.
Yeah. What they're finding is there's kind of two groups.
So that was Bob Yourell. I've known him for over 10 years. And a really interesting guy. He's been here for many, many years. Also, he has another side to him. He's a musician as well, but hopefully we'll talk to him in the future.
Yeah, but this was a very interesting topic, because when you think about it, there's a lot of people that move down here for a lot of different reasons, a lot of retirees, and after a while the newness wears off and you realize you're all alone and you got nobody to talk to. So so Bob touched on a different, topics about what it's really like to live down here. And sometimes you just need somebody to talk to and, mental health challenges and stuff like that. So that was an interesting episode. That was our latest.
Yeah, that's correct. And I hope
you're going to go back now and go back to those first two, our little orphan episodes?
Yeah, that's right. Right. Now, the thing is this, we didn't come up with the idea of Baja Times and Travels at that point. This first was back in September of last year when we only had Studio 212. And this was with Carlos Delgato. And Carlos Delgato is a local artist based in Primo Tapia. And he was commissioned by an organization for him to make a mural at City Hall of Rosarito, which is still there right now. Yeah. So here he is.
I don't know who I am. It's like very complicated to explain some certain stuff, but basically I'm like an artist living here in South Rosarito in Primo Tapia, and I love first of everything, I love nature, and I love to observe my environment and to protect everything, like having a connection with plants, with the sky, with the water.
Nature.
Yes,
right.
Nature. And with that, I make my artistic work, like photography, collage, watercolors, and paintings, linocuts, and I do different techniques.
One thing is, a couple of weeks ago, you had a big event that was at City Hall Palacio of Rosarito.
Yeah.
First thing is, let's hear the interview. in Rosarito. And the key thing is we need to talk to this person. Carlos Delgato, congratulations.
Gracias, thanks.
First thing is, where are we and what are you doing?
We are in the opening of this big mural. The name of the mural is Riviera. I don't know how this translates.
So I interviewed Carlos Delgato when he just finished with the mural at City Hall Rosarito. You can find the full interview on Ein Rosarito, but also we have the podcast on Studio 212, but also shared it onto our page, Baja Tales and Travels. So.
Well, you know, I remember when you and I first talked about starting a podcast, and I said one of the people I really wanted to have a guest was Carlos. He's one of my favorite artists down here. I remember meeting him at the Art Walk.
Right.
It was probably 3 years ago.
About 2 to 3 years ago.
And I was so fascinated by his work because he really loves nature. And I love pelicans, and I remember buying a couple little of his pieces, and with palm trees and pelicans. But he's so much about the nature of the beauty that's here, the local nature and beauty and animals, and teaching kids to appreciate what we have here. So yeah, he was our very, very first guest before we were officially Baja Tales and Travels, but I'm so glad that you're including him in this look back on our history here.
Yeah, thank you. And also I know he's been doing really good lately, and also he's very serious for protecting the environment.
Yeah.
That's it. He's well known for his art, but also he wants to protect and help with the community. So I made sure that everyone has their link. So I'm put the link there so anyone can get any information.
Yeah.
And he does speak English. His English is very, very good. So if you want to contact him to help with the ecotourism or eco environment over here.
Right. And I'm sure he'll be at Art Fest again this year. So if you're planning on going, check out his artwork.
Right, that's it. Art Walk. Art Walk's going to be it'll be at the end of May, and that's a big art festival. And it was created about over 15 years ago. It was considered Rosarito Art Festival. Then they changed it to Art Walk, and it'll be at Sea Art of Rosarito, I believe.
Yeah, that's usually Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So.
And then we had one more episode before we became official.
Yeah, that's an interesting guy. I met him about 9-10 years ago when we were zombies for Fear the Walking Dead.
Wow.
Per Helldin, and he's originally from Sweden, and he's been here in Mexico for 10 years, but I know he's been from the United States. So let's hear about him. So, well, I want to say thank you for attending Studio 12. This is the second time you attended, but this is the first time you'll be on our show. So first thing is, tell me, where are you from?
I was born over in Sweden, where I lived till I was 22 years old, and then I was going to go to the United States and work for a year. Ended up being there for close to 30.
Mm-hmm.
One of these things that just happened, and I loved it there, and just kept working away, and such is life. And then it was time to slow down a little bit in life, and I was done with work, it felt like so, and then I needed a new place to experience and a new place to come to keep going on.
And when's the first time you came to Mexico and Rosarito?
Well, actually, first time officially down here, even though I had been to Mexico a couple of times for some auto racing events in Tecate and also in Ensenada, but that was more like just a couple of days at a time. So at 2010 is when I kind of first came here and decided to check the place out and see if it's worth pursuing.
That's Per Helldin. And he lives in Rosarito, and he hangs out with us at Baja Buddies.
Yeah, again, Baja Buddies coming up again. But yeah, very interesting guy, all about cars. You want to know anything about cars, talk to Per.
Yeah.
He used to work for Volvo, or maybe still does some work for them.
Yeah. Also, he got involved with the Baja off-road competition.
Oh, that's
over the years ago, and he still follows that one. And I asked him to get me more information about the not the boxing, for the for the car competition, and he'll give it to me. But also, besides, you have the off-road competition, you have a lot of antique or classic or different types of car shows is for display. He attends some of those here, but also in Tijuana. So it's really interesting. He wants to get involved with the car scene over here. And yeah.
Wow. So that's 12 episodes, a little over 3 months.
Well,
we've
actually 10 episodes. We had just over 2 months. And then with the 2 other clips from Carlos and Per, that was September and October. But for the main, for Baja Tales and Travels, it's been just over 2 months, 10 episodes.
Yeah. And normally this would be a spot for an episode, but due to some special events that we've got going on this week, we didn't schedule an outside guest. But, I love the fact that we're doing this, look back at what we've done so far. It's interesting to think about it. We've had a Swedish person, a German person, Mexicans, Americans, authors, musicians, a chef,
non-for-profit.
I mean, what a variety. And that's what I like about Baja Tales and Travels. We're looking for that story because we're about real people, real stories, real Baja. And believe me, I know there's so many more stories out here. Next week, I'm not going to give it away, but next week we actually have 2 guests. So we're going to have, if you want to find out what those different stories are, you're going to have to tune in next week. But, I always, at the end of every episode, I keep telling people, if you've got a story to tell, whether it's a hobby or a passion that you have or whatever, we want to hear that. I mean, don't we? I mean, all they have to do is just contact us and tell us what their story is, and we'll get them on the show.
Yeah, that's true. And we've got a lot of interest. People are interested for this podcast style, and we got a lot of great compliments.
Yeah. And what's fun about it, because we've got the studio here with the green wall, we could put whatever background we want on the back. So that's a lot of fun. And if somebody wants to share some photos that go along with their story, they're welcome to do that.
Yeah.
But it's been a fun ride. I don't know. I would have never thought I'd be on a podcast, but.
And you're the host.
Yeah, and I never thought I would be able to talk
very
much, but I guess I do a lot.
So anyway.
And talk.
Yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, the key thing is we'll put the email so if anyone wants to contact us to get more information. Also, if you have an interesting share, we're not just based in Rosarito. If you're coming from Ensenada or Tijuana, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a great opportunity. I know, who is it? Bob Yourell. He did a great, I guess we did a great job of him, and he's happy with that one. Also, Eloy, he said, thank you for sharing his group, BluExit. That's it. Yeah. This is a great way to give exposure to these musicians, but also these other unique people.
Well, that's it. You've got a story to tell, and, if you want to get your information out there, this is a great way to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So anyway, we want to say thank you for watching our live podcast. I'm going to download it and save it, and I'll put it on YouTube. And then I'm going to put a list of all the videos of the episodes of We Made It, and so anyone can see those stuff.
But the important thing is like it, share it, subscribe.
Yep, please like it and subscribe and share it. So remember, we're looking for new stories, real people, and
real Baja.
So this is signing off, Diego and Dee Marie. Got a wrong side.